It can never be spoken of in terms of spiritual awakening versus Kundalini awakening. Nothing moves in this world without Kundalini. Nothing. No star born, no black hole. Everything is in the domain, if one understands what Kundalini is. Everything. In that Turon-like structure, in this what we are here, in that Maya, in that extraordinary way of how we perceive ourselves, equipped with the organs of perception. When Kundalini is awakened, we traverse the journey of billions of years of evolution. We travel with the speed of light within our own domain. So this is Kundalini awakening.
I have brought a question, a little bit relating to my question I had in Vienna. And people I talk to, and the headline would be probably Kundalini awakening versus spiritual awakening. So why do people would prefer or intend or want to have a Kundalini awakening if they can have a spiritual awakening, which is less demanding, less challenging, and they get what they... I put it on purpose, like simply to get what they want, like more enlightenment, more peace, more this and that. And so why even, because I also follow what people talking about, I want Kundalini awakening, then they claim to have one, but if I listen and ask a few questions, I would say it's not, but I wouldn't argue, because why should I? They're happy with what they have. And if I start explaining all the challenges, they would say, I just don't argue then. So I think to myself, why, if I had to explain to someone, you have the choice, this or that, why would I promote Kundalini awakening? What is the real difference versus a spiritual awakening or pranatana, what you explained before? Is it?
Yes, but I never explained pranatana. In relation to what you speaking of as spiritual awakening.
No,
yeah, so
that would be my question. Yeah. So maybe you can elaborate on the difference between these three, so to have more clarity for me and for others maybe also, and why one would want to have really an awakening.
I don't know why I would want one awakening. It's a very legitimate question. If one, it's much better to continue with life as it is, it's enough to deal with, right? You never know what might come up with that awakening. So, but this whole thing of spiritual awakening versus Kundalini awakening, God knows what other awakening. Let's just make it very, very, let's simplify matters here. So if by spiritual awakening it's being referred to as becoming somehow, more aware, or knowing how things are as opposed to getting lost in the gaga land, then it's a simply process of growing up. Why to call it spiritual awakening? We don't make these epithets when we watch our children grow. And they're very different, The 5-year-old very different from 10-year-old. And then when they're 15, very different from 10. Radically different, in fact. We don't call them, oh my God, congratulations, my dear son, with your awakening. What are you talking about, Pops? Well, you now kind of get the, probably erection down there, stiff as a board, right? Thank God you're not bothering me with that, with the kind of father-son talk. Awakening. I mean, you're laughing, I'm being dead serious. So, we don't do that, right? The rites of passages, we don't go, oh, awakened, you know. So this whole thing is awakening, it's this language, we prefer the... somehow it entered the lexicon, it entered the language today, spiritual awakening. What spiritual awakening? Well, I walk spiritually, and you simply realize that there is more to life and more to you than you thought. Congrats, that's how I suppose, you know, yeah, that means, you know, you're no longer playing with the little toys, you know, right? It's just leave them alone. You're now playing with something else. No, it's time to change the attention, shift the attention, priorities. And then Kundalini awakening. See, we jump from one extreme to another extreme here. So if we are to bring some kind of measure of clarity here, the best way is to bring a reminder that when we speak of Kundalini, we speak of the ultimate cosmic power, ultimate. And to the degree to which that cosmic power is active in us is the degree of how evolved we are as consciousness. It's the degree to which we are aware per se. So therefore Kundalini awakening in a way also we should speak about it, understanding exactly what we here dealing with, what we're referring to. It can never be spoken of in terms of spiritual awakening versus Kundalini awakening. Nothing moves in this world without Kundalini. Nothing. No star born, no black hole. Everything is in the domain, if one understands what Kundalini is. Everything. In that Turon-like structure, in this what we are here, in that Maya, in that extraordinary way of how we perceive ourselves, equipped with the organs of perception. When Kundalini is awakened, we traverse the journey of billions of years of evolution. We travel with the speed of light within our own domain. So this is Kundalini awakening. A fraction of that energy released brings the Sistine Chapel and the Requiem into existence. All genius, all acts in the world is just a fraction, a sliver of that energy released. When whatever that is, one single pronounced, long enough note put us in touch with the essence of who we are. That's the power of music. Or at least with an emotion which helps us to connect to that part of ourselves which we know is divine. Because it touches that string. When you look at the face of the child and that innocence, that oozing out of that face of God, recognizing that is because of that trembling power of Kundalini in you. The desire to become one with the one we love, to lose oneself, is the power of Kundalini. The desire to merge with Absolute, the desire to simply merge with that what has no name and form, is the Kundalini. Every breath we take is measured precisely by that hissing power of that great serpent of the depth. What awakening are we talking about here? Who is asleep? Who wakes up? Everything else is just a speculation and an opportunity for just reshuffling words. You know, this is why if someone talks about, oh, I would anytime prefer spiritual awakening, rightly so. My dear, you're totally spot on. Stay on the track. You better don't even worry about it. So there's no such thing as promoting Kundalini awakening versus some any other kind of awakening. If one truly understands, even understands tentatively, this question doesn't even rise. Cannot rise. Because it makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever.
When I think the background of my question, to my question is that people, I think you mentioned a few spiritual teachers who have good teachings, who may not have Kundalini awakenings, but are still very conscious, have great understanding, and so it's obviously not needed to have a full Kundalini awakening to experience consciousness and unity, maybe, and oneness. So it seems that these are two different things, or can be both in one, but they're two paths to, let's say, take enlightenment, because that's the term everybody knows. The path to enlightenment, it can be like that, and someone is enlightened without having a Kundalini awakening and rising. Awakening, of course, because it's always kind of awaken and gives some energy, but a full rising with all its challenges. Is that a right understanding? Or?
Any understanding is right. When we come to this, there's no misunderstanding. So there's no such thing as which understanding is right. Everything that is completely, utterly looks like confusion is also part and parcel of it all. It's something else altogether. See, let's not get lost in semantics. Let's not get lost in the way the language has its way and always will. What I'm simply suggesting, is to at least separate wheat from the chaff and understand that if we speak of Kundalini truly for what it is, then that's all there is. That's all there is. There's no such thing as knowing consciousness, right? Or what is it? Like somehow connecting to consciousness. Consciousness is the only knower. Nobody experiencing consciousness. Nobody ever will. Nobody experiencing consciousness. At the very same time, all these experiences are the confirmation that you are conscious at all times. So of course there is this whole vocabulary is born, and there is a way, yes. And you said, I speak about the teachers who did not necessarily go through it. Yes, of course, there are teachers, every teacher is important. The kindergarten teacher is just as important as the university teacher. Every teacher fulfills their roles. So there's a lot of confusion And that confusion reigns in today's spiritual circles. Because it's a kind of like evolved into that, you see? And while something real is happening beneath it all, real. What is real? Real is that people truly wake up to the reality of who they are. That is real. They wake up to the reality of who they are. But at the very same time, there's this conversation, overall conversations going on, you see? Someone is very good in conversing, in speaking to certain matters. And it can be very sounding, very convincingly. Does that bring one closer to truth? Who is to say? So, I'm just suggesting that you simply have this clearer in terms of, right, that, so there is no, if we truly understand what Kundalini is, then there is no such thing as alternative. You see? There's no such thing as alternative. Alternative to what? Kundalini is consciousness. Kundalini is consciousness. So, Kundalini here is spoken of in terms of the degree to which it is active, is the degree to which we are conscious. That's all. Who is here to traverse that journey? Only Kundalini. The flower knows nothing about the husk that held it tight and is blown by the wind. The fruit doesn't give a toss about the petals blown by the same wind. Everything concealed by preceding stage fulfills its role, fulfills its purpose. And so it goes. So let's not get lost in semantics. Sometimes it's good to strip things bare for their simplicity of why we're here, what we're doing, and make the best of it. See? So whatever then puts us directly in touch with that what illumines it all, by virtue of already illumining it all anyway, and makes us happy, makes us happier beings, brings us peace, joy, sense of fulfillment, not holding us hostages to the way we wish to live our life or wished to live our life. Perhaps that's already job done. See? But as we continue this, I want you to stay open, not to settle on anything just yet. It's very important, because this is a continued mystery that reveals itself within itself, only to become reality, only to conceal itself again and to be rediscovered. It's not to sit on it or hold it or put it in a pocket, because you can't hold it, you can't have it, you can't grasp it. The moment you think you grasped it, it leaks through your fingers. So whoever speaks about spiritual awakening and everything, I don't know what that is. today it's just like everything is compared with something. I touch the fabric, I know it has polyester, even if 20%. It doesn't matter what they tell me. Oh, it's good, it's, it's more steady, it makes, last longer. I don't want to last longer, I want to wear pure cotton. Okay? I don't want polyester. No matter how good it is for me. Apparently. Okay? Someone is trying to convince me. And to me, in a lot of modern spirituality, is a lot of polyester mixed in. So it it feels not good on the body. Even if someone tries to convince me otherwise. So, let's keep things simple.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear.